Am I close enough to? I feel like she's closer to her mic, but if I'm fine,
I don't want to be like yelling.
No, those are both good.
Okay.
I have an audio engineer who can like clean stuff up on the back, which works. But yeah, the fours one you played in Newport, Al, like that was like big time. But the final was fun, even though
I know the final was awesome.
Who did you play?
Couldn't play. We played Gina, Molly Turner, Kelly Reeves, and Charlie. I don't know her last name. She played at Stanford.
Okay, yeah.
And she was good. I was watching her all day, and she was like hammering the ball. And then I was just too broken to play in the end, and we had a good lineup, but it just took us a little too long to figure out what to do. And then we were up 13-10 on the bad side, and it was pretty windy, and ended up losing 16-14, I think, or maybe 15-13. I can't remember. But I was like, this might be the end of my formate also.
they're a lot of work.
Yeah, as a hitter, I think I don't need to do that either. Like,
if four-man was like professional tour, if we still had it, I think my calling would be a four-man setter. Greatest job in the world.
Yeah, you're like involved enough every play, and you can block if you want.
Yeah.
If only I could set.
I know. The difference between having a good setter, like Zana's hands were money and Betsy's hands were money.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you don't have a good setter, like I feel like I'm okay. Like indoor, I actually was a setter for like a minute.
Yeah. The technique is so different.
You can't be. I don't think you can be an indoor setter and come out and be good at setting fours. I don't think so.
There are people.
There are, but I don't think they're as good as the good beach setters, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's just my bias towards beach people, though.
Well, I think it's so much easier to just learn beach technique, like setting technique, than to learn one way and try to switch.
Yeah. It was fun watching. I was telling Allie, it was really fun watching Carly, because you have Zana, who has like the lowest, slowest, smoothest hands, and then Carly's just got that buttery, just
so strong.
It's just a slow release.
And it's really...
Especially for indoor, yeah. It's like...
I guess, see, I'm so used to beach, though. You just have people like slow and and whatever, and then Carly just looks like it's barely in her fingers.
So effortless, though, like, her strength.
Her strength, yeah. It was so funny, though, because, like, nobody was drinking too much, but, like, by the end, a couple people were a little bit tipsy, and, like, it was super windy, and someone would dig the ball. Well, say, like, who was Betsy? Betsy was our setter in the final, and she would dig the ball 100 feet in the air, and Zana was left back, and she'd be like, I got it, and she'd just take it with her hands and fall to her knees and set like the perfect set backwards. I was like, oh my gosh. I think she only totally chattered like one ball all day.
Yeah, and you don't call doubles in those things, right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was a lot about the four-man.
Good.
It's fun though. It was fun.
I think one of the toughest parts about those, and especially for you're so competitive, it's like, how do you find like the competitive balance in those things between like trying to like win, and also it is just like kind of a fun, silly weekend four-man?
I'm having a hard time deciding how competitive I am.
I feel like she's good at finding balance and that kind of stuff. Like when I don't supposed to be fun, I feel like you're good at being like, it's just for fun.
Yeah. I am, and I will say it did sting that we lost the finals. Like, I was bummed, but I think I was only bummed because we were up and we had it, and then we like let it go. If we had like, say we got hammered or something, I don't care.
Yeah,
like it was a fun day,
right? Which is to have it in the grass.
Yeah, that hurt a little bit. Even though I didn't play, I was like, yeah, that stung. Yeah, I don't know, and I'm like, looking back and wondering like how I had such high motivation to win all the time before. Like, I feel like I'm pondering that all the time now.
I don't know how people like go to multiple Olympics like you and Carrie, and like, how do you do that well and then be like, I'm still that hungry to go back and do it again?
I don't know. Like, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. Well, do you think, Al, that it's a little bit different for you because you went to an Olympics for your first time and you also got what everyone wants in an Olympics with a gold medal?
I mean, I definitely like checked a box. Like, my motivation is for sure less. Like, I can't even deny that. I'm still competitive. Like when I get on the court, I'm the same, but like when I go home, I'm not as pissed about practice if it doesn't go as well. Like my mind goes off of it more easily. I just like, there's other things that are more important. I think it's a balance of like doing well and having a family now. So it's like, I'm not chasing this thing that I've been wanting. Cause like I missed out on the Olympics a bunch of times. I mean, most people know that, but so I feel like my motivation was just building and building and building and building. And then I got it. And so then now it's like, I know how much work it takes to do it again, which is really daunting. And I did it. So like the bucket list is like gone, you know what I mean? And so then, and I just have something more important now.
Yeah. Do you think your competitiveness, did that change more after you got what you had been seeking or after Theo was born?
I think, well, I wouldn't say it's my competitiveness. I would say it's my motivation.
Okay.
But I would say it changed more after the Olympics.
Okay.
Probably. Like now, it's just not as high of a priority, I feel like. But even afterwards, I was still like kind of searching, like, do I want this as bad? And I did want to like give myself the opportunity to go out there and see how I felt on the court and like prove that I could still compete at that level. And I also feel like in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm still getting better, or I could be getting better if I had the time and energy and motivation.
Like
for that.
essay is morning.
The fact. No, but they're not, because they have two amazing teams. So we're good.
But still, yeah, you could go on and have a lot of success. Definitely.
Was there, because I talked to Phil a lot about, also Try welcome to
Hey guys. Jumped in here. I wanted to just start talking so that the only audio listeners. Yeah, you know what I think? It's been here the whole time. Anyway, continue.
But I like talking to Phil a lot about post Beijing, and he had kind of the Olympic blues type deal. Did you guys have any of that once you get to the mountaintop and then you look at it and you're kind of like, what else? What's next?
I don't know if I would call it the blues, but I had like a big like crisis.
Okay.
Like, what am I doing with the rest of my life? And I didn't think I would have that. I thought like I'd be just content, and even before, like I had fun doing other things. I'm like, hey, once I'm done with volleyball, I'm just gonna like have fun doing, and I didn't know if I wanted kids or not. But it was just like after you check all the boxes, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much in life that like I should do, like, and I want a kid, but I'm 39. Like, oh my gosh, should I wait too long? And I just had this like full on panic. So I had more of the like anxiety than the blues, even though they kind of went hand in hand a little bit. But yeah, I had a tough go for a while. And then thankfully the having a kid thing happened, and that alleviated a lot of, like, I've said it before, but I feel like I have another life, like this is clearly what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Like that's the number one thing. And then other things are falling into place also, and that's, everyone says like, you're going to figure it out. But when you're in it, you're like, I don't know, like,
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to figure it out. So I had such a clear idea of what I was doing with my life, playing volleyball and like, my goals and yada, yada, yada. And once that was done, it was like a big shock to the system.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
How long does the sort of euphoria last after winning an Olympic gold medal? Like, what's that honeymoon look like?
Honestly, I forget that I won a gold medal once. It's like until someone brings it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. Like, and my medal is in our closet, so it's like I don't even see it. It's out of sight, out of mind, and then someone will come over and be like, "Can I see your medal?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that thing," like, and pull it out. So it's not like, I don't know. I'm very proud of it, and like going back to the like gold medal blues or whatever, or like the come down, like I felt like there wasn't as much of a come down because I was so proud of like the whole journey too. It wasn't like, oh, I thought it was going to be more meaningful, and then it wasn't. Like, it was meaningful, I think, because of how we did it and just like how well we worked together to achieve that. So I felt like it was everything that I hoped for it to be, but it's like so little of a part of my identity. I feel like I don't wake up and say like, oh, I'm a gold medalist, like, let's go do this, like it was this cool thing that we accomplished, and I'm so proud of it. And it was like this thing that I've been chasing for so long, but it's just not who I am, if that makes sense. So like, there's not that much of a come down of something that you don't put your identity into, you know?
Yeah.
I will say the euphoria part, I agree with everything you said. And I look back at that time and I'm not like, oh yeah, we won a gold medal. I'm like, that was really fun. That was like really fulfilling how we did all that. And like, I can't believe it worked out. And like, that was so rad. And the relationships we have because of it, I think, are the most meaningful part. But the euphoria, it's fun for me because whenever I'm playing volleyball, or like we played 2 AVPs after that and went to Italy for a tournament. I think like whenever things got hard, it was kind of like, well, we won the gold, so that's all that matters.
Except that I felt so nervous for Manhattan after, remember? Because
you did, for sure, yeah.
Like more nervous almost than the Olympics, because I was like, we're coming back to Manhattan. Everybody's expecting us to dominate. We were so mentally just like exhausted. I had already torn my shoulder at that point, so like I also knew I had kind of a bum shoulder, and like you're playing these teams that are so hungry to play you and
would just want to knock you off.
Yeah, and we're just like trying to get it together to like, you know, muster up enough energy to go out there and play our best. So
I feel like I just had enough energy to like,
I
used every ounce I had. That was exhausting.
Like it was really important to me. Like Manhattan's my hometown. To me, it's the biggest tournament, or at least for sure for AVP. And so just to come back and win that, like that was really important to me. So I feel like I put a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah, but I looking back also, and like after having come back and played in Huntington, like, and I wrote just very briefly about this in my latest Instagram post, but like the emotional requirement to show up for every match and want to win and put enough in that you can win tournament after tournament, like to maintain that level of play is so exhausting. Like it was hard enough for me to do it in one tournament after 2 years off, and like
I feel like it's more exhausting for us now because we don't have the same drive.
I felt like it was emotionally exhausting late in my career, like leading up to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like
it was exhausting, but I don't know. I felt like we had like energy going into practices because we were so motivated to get better, to fix things, or to like, I don't know.
I felt like I willed myself. Like I had motivation and I knew what my goals were, and I willed myself, but it was like I had to muster up that emotional energy every match, because it would have been, in certain instances, it would have been easy to be like, oh, this tournament doesn't matter. Like, I could just kind of farm it and, you know, mail it in or whatever the phrase is. And and, you know, we'd still be going to the Olympics. We qualified in January, and it was, every tournament though was about like, how are we going to get better, and how are we going to use it to be the best we can at the Olympics. And like, I was afraid to lose most of my career, going into tournaments, into matches. And so to be able to allow yourself to put your hopes and dreams on the line every single match, and then with the threat of like being devastated, and, you know, I wasn't maybe as good as separating my identity from wins and losses, you know, like it reflected on my self-worth. And I think it does for a lot of athletes. And so just to weather that over and over and over again is mentally and emotionally exhausting. And I'm very impressed with myself that I did it as often as I did.
It sounds like hearing you guys talk about how you went through the Olympic process and all that, you guys had already kind of come to terms with what your self-identity is. You've been doing a lot of that self-work before that, so it seems like your guys' experience with like Tokyo and all that seemed to be a lot cleaner than a lot of people who haven't done that kind of self-work. Like if you guys had won when you were 25, the experience maybe would have been a lot different. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Well, I see what you're saying. Like I think your experiences indoor, like trying and failing, failing.
But also, like, like I can't sustain this career for, let's say, 15 years, however long we're playing, if I don't separate my identity from it and like figure out what my real reasons are and my whys and all that stuff.
I thought I did a good job of that, but I don't think I did.
Well, it's probably a never-ending process. Right?
Now it's separate.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Well, for you, it's crazy because it's like 20 years. Or like,
I played girls volleyball for 20 years.
20 years.
But I also think you had like so much success that probably kept you going, but also like just enough failure that you wanted to come back, you know, like
it was the way my career unfolded was the perfect storm to keep.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like for me, I had like some more obvious failure to the point where like what you're saying is like my identity couldn't be in volleyball because otherwise I'd have no self-worth based off of like how many rosters I missed out on and all of that. And so I feel like I was forced to be like, okay, who am I outside of volleyball? And then when I got this like new chance to chase an Olympic dream, then it was like, okay, I'm all in because like all of the things that I felt like were holding me back on the indoor side were no longer there. Like I had this opportunity to just like go out and do it. And if I played well enough and got the right partner and all of that, then there was nothing in my way.
Right.
So.
Very different journeys.
Yeah.
I still love, it still gives me like chills to think about when we had John for the first time, April. And you just, I remember we listened to that after you guys won gold, and I was sitting in a little cafe in Bulgaria, and I don't know if you've listened to that one out. Everything April said in 2017 came true, like, to the letter.
Really?
She accidentally announced
You're in trouble for that.
I do remember you, like,
I mentioned it, that we were playing together, and then a reporter who was listening broke the news. Yeah.
Surprised we were that important at that time. Back when it was on the, I think we were on the kitchen table still.
But I forget like what I said, but I went back and listened to it and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like,
but what did you say?
I forget.
Travis knows.
Because at the end of the day, you said, I'm going to play with Alix for the next quad. You're like, we're going to have some good moments and we're going to have some really trying times because Alix is brand new to the beach basically, but I think that she's giving me my best shot at gold at Tokyo, and that's what we're trying to do. And I was just doing like, damn, that was like, and you guys started out with the big win. First got I was like, wow, right off the bat, you got some trying times and it's a good time.
And then people were trying to poach Alix from me, and she stayed on board.
Someone should have mucked with that for Ross.
Well, they did it.
Yeah, that's true.
Clearly.
That's a bold ask. How has motherhood, like, what did you guys expect, if you did expect anything at all, motherhood to change your outlook on volleyball? Because I think Delaney's expectation was that she'd kind of like pop right back to playing, but she just couldn't have any less interest, which she loved playing fours with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely loved it.
We talked about it a little bit about like, hey, do you miss it? She's like, no, not at all.
Yeah. So she doesn't miss the practices, doesn't miss competing, any of that. And that's a shock to her. Like, she didn't expect not to.
It's a shock to me. Like, I feel like she was so into volley.
Yeah.
And she was one of those players that had such a high volleyball IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just thought she was able to be so creative out there and had so much fun. And so I was really surprised when she said she had no interest. But, I think after now having a kid, it's a lot less important, definitely. But I enjoy being out there training every day. Like, I think that's really fun. But definitely, like, winning tournaments and stuff is not like the highest priority. What was your exact question?
How did the expectation, like, of what you expected volleyball to look like after volleyball or after becoming a mom, like, how is that the same or different now that you're back in it?
I feel like it's weird. Like, when I'm on the court, I feel very similar to how I felt in the past, but then I know that our preparation wasn't the same. I know that our expectations are not the same. So like there is a little bit of a broader perspective, just like before and after the matches, I guess. In the moment, I'm like, we can win this, we can beat this team, we're better than, but then I'm like, wait, we're actually not in that good of shape right now. And like, there's things that we haven't, like there's a level we haven't reached that we need to reach to beat those teams. So like I was telling myself before the tournament, I was like, I really just want to make it to Saturday. I don't want to embarrass ourselves. And then when we lost on Saturday, I was like, damn it, I really wanted to make it.
Before our last match, she's like, I really want to make Sunday. I'm like, but you said you wanted to make Saturday.
Yeah, well, I'm like, well, I'll just think about it. Like,
and I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Like, I was physically so out of shape. I was like, I just hope that I can get in good enough shape to actually compete with these teams at this point. And I felt like I barely made it and did okay in Huntington. Like,
that's exactly how I felt when I played in World Champs. Okay. Like, I felt like I barely got in like passable shape, and I still wasn't at my best, but I was like good enough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Not it. Like, I know it's hard because I know I could play so much better than I played, or like used to play so much better than I played. But at the same time, I have to like be very accepting of and happy that I was able to play as well as I did. So it's like it's like a fine line,
I was also telling Travis how different like but more specifically your preparation was for the matches, like compared to how you used to prepare. Like when you told me that you eat McDonald's before breakfast back for our first match, I was like, oh boy,
so many people have commented.
Go so interesting.
So many people have commented about that. I'm like, is it really that shocking? But yeah, and then in between matches, like, we're like doing stuff with our kids and trying to
like so late to warm-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Normally no scouting reports.
I know.
I told you too. I was like, next tournament we need to scout.
Yeah. Yeah, normally we'd go back to the room and watch our video and take a half-hour power nap or whatever, and it was just like go, give food, like change the baby, make sure someone's watching him and they know how to get back to the court and blah. Yeah, so it was a lot.
Well, and there was one point in between matches, and you were talking to Josh's mom, and she was going to take Ross out for a walk, and you're like, but if he's fussy, like, bring him back. Like, don't worry about bothering us. It's not that important. And I was just like, okay, like, I could, it's just like an example of like priorities, and you wanted to make sure he was okay more than like, you're worried about recovering.
Before, I would like Alex, like, we don't do anything. Let's run back to the room.
Yeah.
So we can like
she's always like, Alex, come on.
Yeah. Recover. Yeah. We need to go take a nap so we're good for the next match. And no, it's just way different.
And I think Fly
just want
to smash it on you. Sorry.
I will say that's one thing, like coming back, I wanted to, have fun. I want to enjoy it. I want it to be like beach volleyball of old, where you're like hanging out and you're chatting. And I realized at Huntington, that's an unrealistic expectation because I have a child and a family, and like we got done on Saturday, and normally I'd go out for a drink with like my friends, and it was like, no, Ross has to get home for a nap. He's so tired. He's dirty. You have to give him a bath. And then in between matches, it's like super hectic. And I'm like, oh, I don't like, it's still way different than it was when I started, and it was just so carefree and fun. And I don't want to say it like, it made it feel a little bit more like work than I was hoping for.
Gotcha.
I wanted to come back, and it was definitely enjoyable, and I was stoked to be out there, and thought we could have done better, but we played okay, and I'm just satisfied. But that, I think that was maybe the biggest difference in my expectation coming back.
Yeah, it's so challenging. I mean, especially when you're looking at a 20-year career, like you've really built up routines, right? Like no matter how much you prepare and be like, oh, I'm just going to go out there and have fun with it or whatever. It's like, but I know what it takes. So why would I not do that? Or like, all those routines. And
my nervous system is so connected. Like even if I'm telling myself, okay, we're just gonna go have fun and do the best we can, it's so programmed in me that like, you know, we want to do well, and I had so much adrenaline, and like the night before I couldn't turn off my brain and like didn't sleep very well, and it's like, but I don't care half as much as I used to. Like, why can't I just let that go? And I just couldn't. I don't know.
You don't have, like, we don't have muscle memory of like half-assing it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the best way.
That program, like, we just go out there and play easy.
That's my point.
We literally have only ever tried our hardest, played our hardest, prepared our hardest, like, and so it's like it's impossible to approach it a different way. Like, we just literally don't know how. Like, I have one way of knowing how to play volleyball.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself comparing your play now to the gold medal versions of yourselves, or is that just like a totally different chapter?
I do, and I have for a while, and like I feel like subconsciously maybe that's where I'm pushing myself to get back to, even though it's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But then another part of me is like, I've played so many like older women who are just so crafty and like have all the shots and like know, you know, where to put the ball. I'm like, I could learn how to do that too, and evolve my game to be a little bit more creative, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like, is it in your mind? Can you make it still realistic to have those same expectations, but to do less than you did before to reach those goals? You know what I mean? You're like, I can't give what I used to give. That's just off the table. Not speaking for you guys, but can I still expect to win the way I used to?
Can you work smarter and not necessarily as hard?
I'm more of a veteran now. I know the game better, or maybe I'll change. I don't know. Because it's hard to walk into anything and be like, well, why wouldn't I just expect to win it all?
There's certain type of players that don't have to try so hard to play really well.
Right.
Like Teddy, my fiance, for example, like he's that type of player. Like he would sit in the freaking hot tub before a match, and he's like, "That's how I warmed up." Like,
He's actually a genius.
Yes, and he's like, I didn't have to do anything.
They said warm up. I literally just warmed up.
And he's always like, "Don't play the game before it's play, like before it starts." Like he thought we warmed up for way too long. But like I'm the type of player that needs to try really hard and like needs to prepare really well and study and scout and all those things. And like, if I didn't do that and I tried to approach it his way, I would suck.
It's like me versus Taylor. Where I'm like warming up for 20 minutes and then he shows up, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
and he just makes it look so effortless. But that's the way he plays the best.
Yeah.
You know? So I think maybe if you're that type of player, then
my thought is, can you switch if it makes sense? You know, it's like, I don't know. Because when I do walk out there and I do the half-ass warm-up, I'm just like, it doesn't feel right.
I suck, and then I get
like,
pissed. Yeah. And then I don't have fun.
Or like if you get injured, then you blame it on that or something, you know, something like that. I don't know.
I'm not good if I don't try really hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think you're better than you give yourself credit for. I legitimately suck. Like if I'm not in my best shape and like so dialed in, like I can't play volleyball on the weekends because if I just try to like play for fun, I'm so bad, and then I get so pissed, and I'm like, this is the dumbest idea. Why did I ever do it?
I think you can give yourself more credit too. Like,
I'm not a weekend player either.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I think your mental intensity. I don't agree with like having to be in shape and like really sharp physically, but I think when you get pissed off is when like you're the best, and like when you're really like motivated to win and competitive.
It's like playing for fun does not bring the best out.
Yeah.
Right. I think I'm like that.
It's really funny. I had that exact conversation with Julia earlier this year because she got out her first practice of the year and we were next to the Better at Beach groups, and like they just have an absolute blast. And you know, they're like B-level players, and so they're just shanking balls, laughing about having a great time. And Julia was like, sometimes I wish I could do that, but I don't have it in me. Like I can't have fun like that. Like her fun is just like dialing in like 1,000 reps at a time. She's super similar to you actually in that respect. And I was cracking out. I was like, those guys make my day watching them just like have a great time shanking left and right.
It's just so hard to separate the two.
Yeah.
I do know how to have fun, and I goof off very hard when I get into that mode, but like they're very separate.
Yeah, they're not. There's no crossover.
Not really. Like I try to have fun in like your warm up games.
Yeah.
But I'll either lose like won't score a point, or I'll play really good sometimes. And I'm like, well, your game's
by 10 or loses without scoring.
Yeah, your game's dumb. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between being able to like appreciate it and being able to like really do it another way. You know?
I think it's just different versions of fun. Like before we went out of the box, every match in Huntington, I was like, winning's a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
And it might not. It just doesn't look like goofing off fun. It's
That's
just
true. Working really hard and having it pay off and like winning tight matches is really, really fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell like juniors players, because I feel like they have a hard time when people say just have fun out there. They think goofing off. And you're like, no, that's not fun. Like fun is putting in the work and seeing it pay off.
And even like for me, learning is fun. So like I think I found a lot of enjoyment from practice.
Yeah.
Because I was like learning and getting better, and I wasn't necessarily winning a match, but that was really fun. And then I also think that translates to just me enjoying volleyball in general, because I do like practice. So I'm not just waiting to get to a game to hopefully to win, to then feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how you have to have fun at the pro level. I think that's like the lesson. I think is the rare player like maybe Taylor Crabb who can like maybe play to the fans. I don't know, and like not. I mean, he tries really hard. He's out there working his butt off.
So, but like with no warm up, I have to.
Oh yeah, I mean physically, but I think you have to try to win and like be all in.
Yeah.
At least when you're out there, you can't be goofing off and like have a good time playing professional volleyball.
Right.
It's like, okay, now I can have fun going out with my friends and not playing well.
Yeah.
And playing four-man and like being totally fine with however I play and enjoying that.
Right.
But I don't think you can do that on the pro tour.
It's tough.
Yeah, because Taylor, like he'll go out and play the dyno with Matza.
Right.
And he'll legitimately try really hard, but he'll also still get something out of it, even though he's also goofing off and not taking it serious. But I love talking to him about that, because he's like, every time I play, even if it's fours at 21st, I'm still getting better at something. And you see, he makes plays that like, there's no way anybody can teach the things that he does.
Well, and I just think like it becomes clear how much he loves volleyball, because he plays like every opportunity that he can get. Like, I don't think I love volleyball that much, because
I'm right there with
I don't sign up for like every four-man or every like vacation tournament. I'm like, no, thank you. Like, I'm going to be on my towel.
I just went surfing, came back, or while I was surfing, I realized that Kim was practicing. I walked back and they were all training down there, just whatever. He's just getting reps. Yeah, man, we're different. I'll go back to the beach, but
I was trying this week. I'm like, do you want to get out at all? He's like, too soon for me, buddy.
Yeah, I vacation hard. Like when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
Oh, I'm about to go hard.
Summer of tries, just getting started.
Yeah.
Are you playing international this summer?
I'm trying to figure out what the end of the year is going to look like, kind of taking this meet that was unscheduled, the meet of the summer off. Yeah. Going to Tahiti.
Oh, amazing. Have you been to Tahiti before?
No, never been to Tahiti.
That's where the surfing for the Olympics is going to be.
Yeah, I'll go pretty much right before that.
Okay.
Really?
Teopu'o. Yeah, I'm staying in the village right there for a few days. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
It's going to be sick.
I will say, as much as I think Paris is going to be a rad games, I'm looking forward to the 3 weeks where everybody's there and nothing's happening, to just not have to do anything. I haven't experienced that in a long time.
You gonna watch?
Oh, I'm for sure gonna watch.
I'm excited to be so stress free watching games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the same.
Having a cocktail and being with my friends. And I was saying
DMing about the matches.
Yeah. Well, and in Tokyo, I remember thinking that our family's watch parties looked so fun, and I was borderline I wish I was there, even though I was at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll get to be at those watch parties.
Yeah.
How about the Olympic qualifying process? Because when we had the Taylors on, they were like, it's been fun to sit back and watch you guys go on the road. Have you guys kind of enjoyed getting a back row seat, especially for you, April? I mean, what's the last quad you just got to hang out and cruise? It's been
Athens
with the baby waking up every night.
Jen and I tried to qualify for Beijing, and we almost did. We barely lost out. Yeah. So it's so stressful, and I have not missed it at all. I love watching all the world tour events and just seeing who's doing what, and I feel for some teams, and just I feel the stress that they're all carrying, and like you posted about Ostrava, and like I'm so excited to see what people do there.
That qualifier should be wild.
On the men's side,
on both sides.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the women's side, like everything's pretty much
for USA.
Yeah.
But like Joanna and Anouk tried to qualify. Pavin just got passed, right? So
Pavin just got passed
to get back up to.
But they didn't even get into the event.
Oh, they didn't?
No,
didn't get in.
So
so Pavin and Molly are they're done.
Can't they qualify? Oh, because
Sophie and Heather have the continental bid. Well, not the continental bid, but so the way NORCECA changed it this year.
Okay.
So it used to be your federation sends 2 teams, and like the USA's A would play Canada's B, and then vice versa.
Confusing.
If you win 2, you move forward. If you split, then your A's play one another, and the winner of that moves on. But NORCECA, they shifted it because no federations are deep enough to have a good second team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Nicaraguas and Guatemalas and all those, like they were done. It was kind of useless to play them, so they just dropped it to you send your 1 team.
So it's set for Canada?
And so Canada, they made it so the team with the 4 best finishes in 24 is the one that's going to go to the Continental Cup if they needed it. And Sophie and Heather have those 4 finishes.
Wow.
So if Sophie and Heather don't qualify in Ostrava, which is pretty unlikely, then they'll go to Tlaxcala.
So they would still have to win the bid.
They still have to win the bid.
Okay.
So basically, it's pretty much between them and the Puerto Rican chicks. I don't know if you've watched them play.
The little ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I trained against them when I was playing with Haley. They were good.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're better than you would think.
Yeah. There's such a bummer, though, that like the last event, and it's Pavin and Molly versus Spain, and she couldn't even get in. She was stuck on the reserve list. So it was kind of a bummer.
What do you mean?
Like for Ostrava?
For Ostrava, yeah. So Sarah and Molly didn't even get into the event.
Wow.
And so they couldn't even compete for it. So they got passed. So, I mean, good on Paula and Lily. I mean, they charged.
Yeah, they're the ones that passed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they just got a good finish in Starry Jablonski, right?
Their first medal ever.
Oh, really? Yeah.
As a team. Good timing for it.
Was that event at the same venue that we used to play at? Do we get confirmation?
So. It looked like it, yeah. Nice. I love that tournament. That's like one of my all-time favorite
I know,
tournaments.
I wanted to go so bad. I was going to bring the whole family.
Yeah. The dock on the lake and just like summer camp.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know if you and Kame would want to go just because it'd be a rare, fun, sweet tournament to play.
I was thinking about it, then I was like, why not just go to Tahiti?
It's true.
It is hard to get there.
Then you can actually relax.
Yes.
What made you guys want to come back and play Huntington? Because your identities have sort of been unwrapped from volleyball, and volleyball just like goofing off isn't fun. What made you want to come back and play this AVP season?
I think I was looking into the future. Like I was just had Ross 3 months of like only being a mom, getting through that gnarly period and not having much to do, but a lot to do, obviously. And I was just looking like forward and what do I want to do? And it just seemed to me like a fun thing that maybe Alix would want to do, is if we just came back for this summer. And for me, it'd be a good way to get back in shape, be motivated, get out of the house. I didn't even know at the time, like, am I going to be able to have somebody watch the baby long enough for me to go train? And it just seemed like I was challenging myself just enough, like to get back into a routine that was going to be healthy and motivating. And I had been away from the sport for 2 years, and, I think it would have been strange and just not how I wanted to end my career, to kind of just fade away and not come back and not give any explanation or anything. So I was like, at the very least, because it was kind of coming out what the AVP schedule was going to look like. Not very many events unless you made the league, which at the time was unclear what that would be like. I was like, at the very least, we'll play Huntington and Manhattan, and if I decide I'm done, I can announce my retirement in Manhattan. And like, what better place to do that than at, you know, one of the biggest tournaments in the world. And it just all made sense in my head. Like, I was like, this sounds like, to me, just in my gut, like a great plan. Like, and then I'm like, okay, now I just have to get Alix on board.
Yeah.
Small detail.
I feel like I had like the same motivation when I was coming back, like when I played with Haley, and I was like, I want to prove that I can get to this level, and I want to get back in shape, and I want to like see how I feel on the court after all, you know, everything that's happened. And then April and I, even though we'd seen each other quite a bit during this time, like we'd never talked about playing together again. And she was so in the coaching space, and I was like, oh, she found her next thing. And like, I just did not even think that was on the table. And to be honest, I was kind of like, you know what, I think I could be okay. Like I could be done. But I still had the same feeling of like, that's just a weird end to my career, you know, just to kind of like fade away, even though April's career is obviously like more illustrious. But I just was like, it would feel nice to have some kind of intentional closure with the sport, I think. Yeah. And so I definitely was not expecting it when she texted me, and I still wasn't even sure I had the motivation to play, because I said, I was like, I want to play only if I want to be out there and I'm like having fun and it feels worth it, and it feels worth all the sacrifice and like being away from Theo and paying for a nanny and, you know, all the different things. And so I was like, can we just train together for a month and see how it feels? And I think like within a couple of weeks, I was like, okay, this is a lot of fun. So let's just do it. And there were only like 2 AVPs, and I was like, oh, this could be perfect. But no, we're going to play a little bit more than that probably.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of the league too is that, I mean, you can just play those 3 events, and then the league's every other week. You're only playing 1 match a day for 2 days, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it is. So like the workload for people towards the end of their careers is like, thank you for, I don't have to play 5 matches over 3 days.
It is extending like the season, and like,
yeah, that's true.
Kind of would have
amount of time you have to
preferred to play it like the summer while we're, you know, getting for sure and everything, but
that's
true. Okay.
Yeah, but I like the workload with the whole league thing.
Yeah,
I think it's exciting. Every other week, you're not even going to play every week. But yeah, it's the staying in shape part during that 8-week span.
We both tricky. Have weddings though this summer also, so that's like.
When's yours?
September 14th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You didn't want to schedule your wedding around a league with details we still don't know.
No. So 9 is Josh's number, 14 is my number, and we found out it was going to be on a Saturday this year, and we were like, yeah, that's our date. We're going to do it.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it, you know, we needed time to plan, and so it was late enough in the year, and it just worked for people, and so we're like, hopefully everything works out with the league and all that. But that's when we're going to do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congrats to you both. And then you guys skip out on Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Domestic or international?
Are we going to play?
No, wedding.
Oh, international. Italy, yeah.
That should be a lot of fun. I don't think I even heard that, but I just kind of expected it.
Yeah. I'm actually not missing Chicago because of my wedding. I'm missing it because of the trip after. So, but.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Honeymoon.
Feels worth it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And so
it's been in the plans for a long time.
I know.
We were like, planning it, knowing Chicago.
We actually had the venue, and then we got pregnant, and so then we pushed it back a year. So it's just like, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What does the rest of summer look like then? Because we have Manhattan. You mentioned that you guys are wild card application for Stad. Hopefully that'd be fun.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're saying like just pick and choose the tournaments you want to go to. Like, that's what we're trying to do, but we'll see if it works out if we get it.
Doing the Kelly Slater. He's been doing that for like a decade. He goes long enough in the beginning to where he's like, I'm not really in contention, and then like he just retired, but
did he?
Then he's like, but I'm gonna submit my wild cards for any event I want to go to, and they pretty much always give it to him.
And he's old now, right?
Yeah, 51.
Yeah, it's like 51.
But he's like 108 world championships like in the last couple of years, or no?
No, I think he won in like 2012, maybe.
Pipeline.
He won the Pipe Masters
Like 2 years ago?
there's 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
which is wild. That's like winning Manhattan.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it's like a different kind of wave. Like the ones where you actually have to go like shred it, he's not winning as much. But like the one where it's like veteran move, get yourself in the right place.
What
It's just get a barrel, and that's it. That's when he's got his shot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, Stad would be fun. I feel like we have a good argument for making Stad.
oh, I think so. Absolutely.
Swiss girls were
Yeah.
fire or something.
Well, I was talking to the ever positive Theo Brunner in the coming in. I'm all like positive and optimistic. He's like, "What do you do in the summer?" I'm like, "Well, we're gonna apply for the wild card for Stad." He's like, "Oh, you're probably not gonna get that." The Swiss girls are gonna need that, so they always give it to the Swiss. And my confidence level literally went from like 95% down to like 35%. I was like,
April came to practice and she's like, I don't think we're gonna get
We're just talk Theo.
so I don't know, because I have no idea, but what he told me is that Joanna and Anouk would be in the qualifier and they would probably need the wild card, so we'll see.
Right.
But we'd bring like Nikki Jade, Maestral is going to be our coach,
Sure.
and she's been helping us out at practices and stuff, and it'd just be like a really fun trip. And if you're going to go international one more time, why not to Stad? And then we won last time we were there, so and it would be the last time anyone could play us as the reigning gold medalists,
Oh yeah.
because Manhattan's after the Olympics, so there'll be a new champion.
I hope that this comes out before, because the entry list is 28 days.
I'm not saying I hope it comes out after, so that whatever we say is it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have a case for you.
I know. I was like, if we lose, it's like at least we're with like, it's like girls trying to have fun, whatever. But I'm like, I don't want them thinking that that's how we're approaching it.
Yeah. No, obviously we're gonna try our hardest when we're out there.
And we want to go because it's like the greatest tournament of all time.
Yeah.
So
it's the longest. I mean,
it's the
longest running international tournament, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Great
like
promoter.
so magical.
Yeah.
How many cowbells do you guys have?
I only have 2.
Oh really?
One.
Stad was my Achilles heel for a long time. Like just the air and not being able to jump serve as well.
Yeah.
But your first one was not
No, it was third.
I wanted one so bad and I was so motivated, and then we got on the podium and I realized that all the cowbells were the same size and I was so pissed. Yeah, like your phones and it looks like the exact same, and I was
Yeah, just the plaque says first, second, or third.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
like, I feel like you should get a mini cowbell if you get third.
I could agree with that.
That's fair.
It was really funny. We had dinner with Andy Benish and Deanna Kraft the other night, and Andy just has the cowbell like sitting on the floor, and Austin starts like playing with it and chewing on it. Like, I don't know if we should.
Yeah.
Ours like stained with champagne, remember?
Yeah.
Like they were like spraying the champagne on the podium, and at first I was like, no, it's gonna get all like dirty, whatever. And now like such a better story when like
Way better.
your kids or grandkids are asking about it, and like, what are these spots on it? It's like, oh, that's champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did stain it.
Yeah. No, it looks a little grimy. Yeah.
And then traveling through the airport with it is really fun because it's just like I put a sock around the like bell part of it, but it still makes noise. I've never gotten asked to take more pictures than going through the airport afterwards.
So funny.
And then like trying to put it in the overhead bin, and it's like,
Yeah, clinging.
yeah.
What do you do with the sword?
They're hanging on my wall now, finally.
Nice. Send it to you, right?
They send it to you. Yeah, they ship it to you.
That would be funny if like, all right, extra challenge, you got to get home with this sword.
But it's like the number one thing I'm thinking of when I have to baby proof my house, because they're like just hanging on some nails, and like Ross could totally just go over and like pull it off the wall.
Jeez.
And they're legit heavy
Yeah.
swords.
And they're like real swords. So
they're real
sharp.
swords. They're not super sharp,
Okay.
but they're heavy duty. Yeah.
I love it when tournaments do that, when they make a really unique.
I do too.
Like Starry Blanche, they had the tree stumps. Like it looked like
cool. Yeah.
with it, whatever your place was, they had it.
And it's also like, try and get this home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
I do too. It's so much cooler than just getting like a little plaque or something.
Yeah.
And they used to do it
unless it's Manhattan's plaque.
Yeah, I mean, but that's cool to have it in the pier. Like,
yeah, I think I lost. Wait, I know. I think I lost.
You lost it.
I think.
Were you bringing it around?
What did you lose?
Now you get a plaque that like there's one on the pier, but then the give one. I don't even know where that one is. But.
I think it was when I was playing a carry. We got like second maybe, or second in a Polish tournament. And they gave us this, or Russia, I can't remember, but they gave us this like really ornate glass trophy that was like too big to fit in like my luggage. And it was super early in the morning, get out of the van. I put it, like there's a little like divot between in your
very big cup holders.
No, like the thing you pull up through the rolly bag that you pull it with, and then there's the handle, and there's like a little divot right there. So I like laid it across right there. Oh, yeah, and I'm like pulling it into the airport, go over the little lip of the doors, the sliding doors, falls off, shatters everywhere.
Brutal.
I was like,
that is such an April story.
I'll just get another one next year.
I don't even remember what I did. I was like, hey, can you help me clean this up?
Is it fun for you guys to think about? I mean, just the stories that you'll have just to tell Ross and Theo. I mean, it'll be...
I'm never telling my kids those stories.
Especially for the ones from back when they actually partied on the World Tour.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. There were some good parties.
Shirt days.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got
He had some good parties, too.
Oh, yeah. That was sick. The like barbecues outside.
Yeah. They just had like pop-up tents with like DJs and like...
Yeah.
Everybody was letting loose, and yeah.
I feel like by the time that I got on tour, there was like no real.
You came in the star system, like right?
Yeah. Like there's, I don't know, just different vibe. Everyone was really professional, but I was like begging April and Jen to take me to like a Stad after party because I was like, I have to experience it. I've never gotten to experience it, and they're just like over it at this point. They've done it all. And so then April was like, okay, I'm going, but I'm only having 2 drinks. Like, I was like, sure, whatever you want to do. Like, we can leave early. Like, let's just go. And, I mean,
by the end of the night, I think I was serving green shots to everybody.
I think you put it on, like...
You found your...
Tyler's tab? You put it on someone else's tab.
I don't remember.
Found a little momentum.
20 neon green shots getting passed around.
But I still went home before anybody else.
Well, yeah, you were kind of...
Oh my gosh, what is the best? My best Stad story was it was World Championships, I think. I was playing with Jen before Beijing, so it was like 2007, I think. And Jen's 30th birthday also. And we lost. We got last place, which is essentially what kept us out of the Beijing Olympics. But we didn't even know. We were so new. We didn't know that like world champs were 3 times the points at the time. So we like kind of were nonchalant about it. Just another tournament. We lost on a tiebreaker, last place. And so we end up going to a Stad party the night before we're supposed to fly out and having a great time. Okay, it's 4 a.m. We got to go home and like get ready, like maybe take an hour nap, whatever. Jen had gone home before me and I get back to the room. I like get in bed and then Jen's like, I feel so sick. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to I'm going to be able to go down the mountain tomorrow or something happened. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And I put my clothes back on and I went back out. And for next we missed up like the news time. Had to figure out how to get on a train that we did not understand properly. And the trains from Stad, they go and they split off. So like you can be on the wrong part of the train, which we're on the wrong part of the train, starting to take us to Turkey or something like that. We get it middle of the night, we get off at some random station. They're like, oh yeah, you're going the wrong way. So then we had to backtrack. It took us and we were just trying to go to Austria at that point. We're trying to go from Switzerland to Austria and it took us like 2 days.
Oh, I actually remember one of those mornings, those early mornings, trying to get out of there and me and you were on a shuttle together. And I specifically remember because you had so many bags and then you had your cowbell. I was like, God damn it, April. I was like sitting next to your bags. Like, and she's got her cowbell here sitting next to me. It's just like in
the trunk because my cowbell's too good to say.
At that point, yeah, I was traveling with so many bags.
And we had It's just like the windiest road.
Actually, I remember this trail. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to have no space, and yeah, you're just sick, and then the car's binding all over.
Yeah, to be young. You just, I'll figure out the morning.
Yeah.
Regret it every time.
Or are there any other tournaments on the list that you're looking to play? Because Vienna's a sweet spot too. I didn't know if you guys were looking at that.
I was just asking me about that this morning.
I think we might have missed the sign-up date.
I think that was not on our radar.
Yeah. I think it was like Stadt or bust.
Got it.
We were looking at like, we were like, well, there's futures in some cool places.
I know. We're looking at, I was like, there's one in Greece, there's one in Italy.
Yeah.
I know.
Want to go play Wapaka or something? One of those novelty.
I really wanted to go to Greece. I was like, there's Greece in June. We don't have a tournament in June. Like, this could be a good time, but
either way, you're losing money, even if you win it. So you might as well just go on vacation, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't even. How much do you win if you win a futures event? And it's not even like it's super easy to win a futures.
Right. No, there's
like
good teams.
Yeah, there's good.
I was like, what are the pros of going? Like,
yeah, it just financially didn't make any sense. Yeah. Like you said, you might as well just go on vacation. Mm-hmm. You get to enjoy it more.
Can you imagine the promoter? If like Greek futures promoter, he's like, April Ross.
I know. We should have written that.
I know. Hey, how about an appearance fee or something?
Yeah, exactly. They'd probably go for it.
It probably would.
If they're smart.
We should have tried. We'll have to take another look at the futures schedule. But yeah, the AVP, I don't know what they're even calling them. The
Challengers, right?
Heritage.
Contender.
Heritage is the big ones. What are the little ones?
I was a Challenger.
I don't know.
But that's what we're...
Other contenders? Maybe, I don't know.
Contenders,
I forget.
sure.
I forget what they're called.
Contenders Tour.
But it's Denver, Wapaka, and Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to make any of
Didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Denver's fun, but it's overshot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Denver would be my pick if we were to do one, but...
It's not like Denver in the summers. Quite like it is in the winter, right?
Yeah.
You want to go there in the winter.
Yes. It is a great place, though. The fans are awesome. The community in Denver... Have you done an SOB?
Yeah, I've done an SOB.
So Denver's
They're
like
awesome.
SOB country.
Yeah.
All those people, like, they love volleyball. And Tom Davenport does such a great job putting on the event. I don't know if you've met him out or done any of the SOBs, but they're it's a fun place to play.
Yeah, that would be a perk also.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you want to visit Denver in the winter for sure.
Either way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you guys thought, like, what life after volley as a player might look like? Is Coach April still in there somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. Coaching is going to be, my next career. I'd like to, I don't want to say I don't want to do D1, but not at first, for sure. Like, I want to get into coaching. Honestly, I just need some time to, like, not that coaching's chill, but I don't need to be trying to win national championships and recruiting every weekend and, like, dealing with all the D1 stuff right away. Like, I kind of want to formulate my program and, like, the way I'm going to coach and my system and all of that, and see what happens. So, but definitely going to coach and hopefully have my hand in a couple other projects here and there. So I want time to be able to explore different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's the perfect profession / career, because every practice that we had, no matter who was running it, it'd be like, hey, this is the drill. And April would be like, but what if we just changed one thing about that drill? Like, without fail. It's like, April, like, why didn't you think about this before? Anyways, now you're going to get your chance to make every drill the way you want it.
Yeah.
Right now, too, like, when we're doing practice, like, a lot of times we don't have a coach right now. And so April, like, writes the practice out, and they're actually great drills. And she's like, I just thought of this in my head. I'm like, that's not normal.
Yeah. It's fun collaborating with everybody. Like, what do you think about this? You guys, what competition drill do you guys want to do? And I don't know. Yeah, I enjoy that.
And you have 20 years worth of drills in your head, too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and the, like, volleyball part, I think, is something that I'll obviously be fine with. The drills, teaching the skills. But but it's like mentoring the girls and like teaching them what they need to learn as far as being adults and, you know, being successful off the court and in this classroom and just setting them up for success. Like that's something I really want to focus on, but don't have a lot of experience in yet. At the same time, I've learned so many lessons through volleyball that it like, hopefully I can help them, you know, gain those lessons as well. But that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. How about you, Al?
I don't know. I mean, I think not. It probably won't be volleyball related.
Yeah.
I obviously love food and cooking and just eating in general. So I studied photography in college. So I think something creative, something kind of like blurring the lines of those two things. I don't know exactly what it'll look like yet. My friend and I have this idea for like a restaurant type app. And so that's like our pipe dream right now, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that's the fun thing. You just kind of
it's really fun and I'm really excited. And I feel like it's very clear to me like what my hobbies are outside of volleyball, but any athlete will say this. It's daunting to like think about like, what's the entry point? How do I get into this?
Yeah.
Who do I have to meet? Like, how do I apply for this job? So I'll deal with that after.
Equally as pressing for me is getting back into golf and pickleball.
Oh, there you go.
And traveling. Yeah.
We gotta go golfing. Let's go golfing soon.
I would love
Travis is like the perfect caddy. Like when he coaches you, you feel like he's your caddy.
I
Which is nice.
love having people coach me on the golf course because I've never even taken a professional lesson or anything.
Yeah.
And like any little tip that I get, I implement it and I'm like, oh, I'm so much better now.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I feel like I have so far to go, so much to improve upon that it's really fun.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a team golf day.
SANDCAST golf day.
SANDCAST golf day. Actually, I do. Well, yeah. More ideas.
Yeah. I took my golf clubs out of I call it the coffin, the golf club like traveling case.
Yeah.
And I still had the airline ticket when I went home. September was the last time I played. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, girls. We got to get you out more often.
You're playing in the Long Beach tournament, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. To defend the title.
Oh, you won last year?
We won in the greatest manner possible. So it was like a 3-way tie for first.
Wait, was that the AVP thing?
No, it was like a Long Beach.
It's a fundraiser for Long Beach State.
Oh, okay, got
Just
it. There was something with AVP involved like a year or two ago.
Yeah,
right.
I got second. That lost to Rosie.
Oh, sorry, bud. Anyway,
but it was like a 3-way tie for first. It went to a putt off, and it was like a 60-foot putt, like up a hill, down the hill, sideways breaker. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Can't see. And we have. Do you know Nick Seifert?
No, I don't.
And he's hysterical. And he's like, boys, I got to take it. We're like, yeah, sure, take the putt. And he nails it. He hadn't made a putt the whole day.
made it?
He made the putt?
Makes it, drains it.
Oh my gosh.
Putter throw, the whole thing, just walk off. So we ended up winning on like a 60-foot putt in the dark. He's ridiculous.
That's awesome. Yeah, you definitely have to defend that.
Yeah, so he just texted us like 2 days ago. He's like, hey, forgot to let everyone know that tournament's Monday. We were like, oh, sure, we have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some tournaments myself.
I want to play tennis post volleyball.
Tennis.
Although
I kind of want to play tennis too.
I think it would be so fun, but like just imagining doing a backhand like already
I know.
my shoulder. Like, yeah, God, maybe I just
like serving.
Have you guys gotten into the pickleball madness?
I have. I love pickleball.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm terrified of tearing my Achilles though.
But I think that's more people who don't exercise a lot. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's a lot of people who are not super in shape that are like, oh, I can play pickleball because it doesn't require a lot of movement, and then it.
Yeah.
My theory is that it seems like such a casual sport that you go out there and you chit chat and you don't warm up and you get out there and it's actually like planting and changing directions and stuff.
Yeah, the one thing that would scare me is that we build ourselves to move on sand. And then you're moving on concrete all of a sudden. It's like when you try to jump and...
I've not played indoor volleyball one time since I switched to beach. But I'm so scared. Like, just my knees, like, moving on that.
It hurts. You have to, like, do it for a few days before your body's like, oh, yeah, this is how...
I got a commission for, like...
I went back to SC one or two times for practice after maybe, like, 2 years on the beach. and I just literally felt like a bag of bones hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Like, no. And like so ungraceful. Yeah, and I was like, this hurts so much. How did I ever do this?
Yeah. Dive in.
And it terrifies me because Baranek, in obviously great shape, was just shooting hoops at 24 Fitness and tore his Achilles. Because what you said, like, we're so used to moving on sand.
Yeah.
Whenever I go home, my brothers want to play pickup basketball. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
And I've always remembered when Misty tore her Achilles on Dancing with the Stars, and I heard it.
Oh, that was Achilles?
Is her Achilles because she was like dancing in high heels most of the time, and then she did the jitterbug, and that's with flats.
Okay.
And so her Achilles had been like shortened, and like she like was then using the full length of it, snapped it, and I'm like, every time I wear high heels, I think about that, like, am I shortening my Achilles?
Full stretch session after.
Yeah, exactly.
April stretches her calf like for a living. Everywhere we go, she's stretching her calf. Like,
I have the tightest calves.
No, it's not tightness. You have like an
tightness.
tightness. She also self-diagnoses herself all the time.
I get.
Are you accurate? I'm very I'm pretty inaccurate.
I'm pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of like, it's fine. Gabby's like, it's crooked. I'm like, let me just yank on it. Just fully broken. Like, oh, never mind. My bad.
No, I go into like sessions with our massage therapist and everything, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. I need you to like push right here and like get in like this. And then they do it. And I'm super detailed, and like takes them a while to figure
It's a blessing
it out.
and a curse for sure.
Yeah, and they finally get there, and then it releases, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Like I told you.
But then I got a reputation for that, and like we'd go on these trips with new providers, and they'd get warned, like, April's gonna tell you exactly what to do. Don't get defensive. Like, just do what she wants.
Well, it would be helpful though as a provider to know.
Some people view it that way, and some people definitely like, what do you like? You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm the expert.
Right. Nah.
You're pretty good extra on your own body, I think.
Right.
Yeah. After I started volleyball when I was 13, and I'm going to be 42 in a couple of days. So almost 30 years of playing volleyball.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do anything fun? Force tournament?
I know. Well, yeah, I am playing another first tournament, but I'm not hitting.
Good move.
We're doing like a little party.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing huge. Because celebrate my graduation, and then Josh is getting off of probation from firefighting too, all at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
June 20, babies.
Oh yeah, June
Same
20th.
birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Happy early birthday, Tiff. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and rearranging the schedule left and right. Welcome back, Al.
Yeah.
Not too jet lagged at all.
I know. I was like, I just hope I can string some words together.
She had a gnarly flight debacle.
Yeah. No, I had 2 flights get canceled, or like 2 different flight paths, and 19-hour travel day with a 1-year-old that slept
Ooh, yeah.
3 hours the whole day. It was very trying time.
And you still showed up.
Yeah, I told Travis I was Googling ADHD and babies yesterday. I was like, I think something's wrong with our baby, but I think he was overtired.
You and Austin should hang out.
Oh my
They'll
God.
just be
I'm scared
wired
for
together.
the near future.
Well, where can, I'm sure all our listeners follow you guys anyway, but where can they follow you if they don't?
Pretty much only Instagram right now. Like, why are you thinking so hard?
I know.
Yeah, Instagram.
Got it.
April Ross Beach, Alix Klineman.
Do you have food Instagram accounts? Because some people do the double.
No, I did for a little bit, but then I never posted about food on my normal Instagram, and then that made me really sad. So then I stopped doing that. But I'm actually gonna post like a dessert recipe soon. So
Look out for that.
Yeah. Feel free to bring it $4 down to your neighbors.
Chelsea lives up.
And
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a power stretch.
I do. And mine is next door to me though.
And then Mike has moved back in too because he's finally home.
Yeah.
Doesn't what's his name live down the street from the Kings?
Jarrett.
Jared. Yeah. I don't know. What's his last name? Oh, Stoley. Yeah, sure. I don't know. No, and Dowdy?
Yeah.
I don't want to like throw everyone's addresses out. But
yes, I do.
But yeah, Power Street.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on. Great catching up. And hopefully you're getting your shot.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
put this episode out after the
deadline.
Yeah. After the entry.
Can do. We'll just clip out all the good stuff and send it to the promoter.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Shoots.